Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to I have a prophetic message, right? And I haven't had one of these in a little bit now, right? It's been a little minute, but the Most High has been speaking to me today, right? So, it's so crazy, but I kept hearing for today. I kept hearing, so this is gonna be a long one because this is a long chapter that they were bringing me to, but that the Most High was bringing me to, and I heard Ecclesiastes 2, right? I kept hearing Ecclesiastes number 2. So there's something around this time where maybe this may or may not resonate with you, but I was being drawn to this scripture for someone. So this is a long one. So if you need to get some tea, get some coffee, whatever it is, just get comfortable as we kind of break this down as to the way the Most High was giving it to me. Now, as always, you can go back and read for yourself to get your own interpretation. But this is kind of how I processed this word. So I was drawn to Ecclesiastes 2. And it says that it was called the Kohelet, I think it is, or the Kohelet. And it means one who gathers people. It means a teacher. So there's something around this time, guys, where there's something where someone is gathering something. You could be gathering something, or you're learning something, or someone is learning something, or someone is teaching, right? There's something around this time where someone could be teaching someone that maybe what they thought mattered really didn't matter at all, right? Because it says pleasures are meaningless. That is what this scripture is called. Pleasures are meaningless. Meaning that sometimes the things that you desire can be meaningless as well. And the only thing you should desire in life is the Most High. Right? So it's one who gathers people. It's a teacher. And in this chapter, it says, I said to myself. So this could be that there's someone, this teacher, that is speaking to someone, telling them what they said to their self. So this is someone speaking something, giving some sort of knowledge, giving some sort of wisdom of what they said to their self. I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good. But that also proves to be meaningless. Laughter, I said, is madness. And what does pleasure accomplish? So what do you get from pleasure? What does pleasure accomplish? It says, I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly. Folly means foolishness, lack of good sense, right? So there's somewhere where maybe there's something where you tried cheering yourself with wine. You tried making yourself happy with alcohol. You tried making yourself happy with other things. You tried to make yourself happy. You tried to find pleasure, right? I tried to cheer myself with wine and embrace my foolishness and lack of good sense. Then it says, my mind still guiding me with wisdom. So even when someone is not acting with good sense, their mind can still give them wisdom. Because if you fall enough times from a situation, you learn to not try to fall from that situation again. If the stove is hot and you touch it, you learn to try not to touch a hot stove again. Sometimes you don't learn until you get the things that you pleasure, and sometimes the things that you pleasure could really be something of folly, which could make you foolish or lack good sense. So it says, I wanted to see what was good for people to do under the heavens, under the few days of their lives. So this is someone that wanted to have a good time, that wanted to live. that wanted to have fun, that wanted to find pleasure. It says, I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. So this is someone saying all the things that they had done in their life. This was pleasure. It says, I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself, and the treasure of kings and provinces. I acquired male and female singers, a harem as well, the delights of a man's heart. I became greater than anyone in Jerusalem, and all this wisdom stayed with me. Even through receiving all these things, doing all these things, creating all these things, having all these pleasures, the wisdom still stayed with this person. The wisdom still remained with him. Then it says, I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. So this is someone that denied nothing that they saw. Whatever their eyes saw and wanted and desired, they never denied it. They didn't deny anything that they desired, right? Flesh, living in the earthly self. It says, I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my labor, and this was the reward for all my toil. For all the hard work, for all the effort put into something, the heart took delight. So the heart was happy. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. And they say that that means, in a sense, chasing after something that is like smoke. It's like vapor. You can't really catch it. There's something where you can't really grasp it or you can't really obtain. And even with everything this person has done, they said it still was meaningless. Meaning your heart can have all these things, you can have all these pleasures, you can have all these desires, but yet you can still feel meaningless. Everything can still be meaningless in a sense. It says, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Then I turned my thoughts to consider wisdom. In madness and folly, what more can the king's successor do than what has already been done? I saw that wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. So now someone is realizing that it's better to go with wisdom than it is to go with folly, which means foolish, which basically means mistakes. So it's better to start leading now with a new mindset, thinking now with a new mindset, changing one's mindset as to what they thought was meaningful, what they thought was pleasurable, what they thought mattered, right? And saying, I release this, and in a sense, I want to go towards my wisdom. I want to release my folly. Because the light is better than darkness. Then it says, the wise have eyes in their heads, while the fools walk in darkness. But I came to realize that the same fate overtakes them both. So in a sense, this teacher is saying that no matter what, whether a fool in life or someone who has knowledge, someone who has eyes in their heads. Now this could be your third eye. This could be that you are seeing things. This could be that there's something where you are finally awakening. and the wise have eyes in their heads, while the fools walk in darkness. But yet they still take on the same fate. The teacher was basically saying whether you are a fool or you are someone that is awoke, you still will have to walk and take that walk someday. Then it says, I said to myself, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? So what do I gain by having knowledge? What do I gain by being wise? What do I gain by being smart? If the fool part of me will overtake sometimes as well, right? Because that's what the teacher is saying. What then do I gain by being wise? I said to myself, this is too meaningless. For the wise will, like the fool, will not be remembered long. So basically, either if you're a fool or you're wise, you won't be remembered for a long time. Eventually in time, people forget people. People forget certain things. People move on. So it says, the days have already come when both have been forgotten. So the days have already come when you could be the fool or you could be the wise in a sense. And the days have come where both have been forgotten. Right? Where maybe someone has forgotten the wise. Maybe there was someone that was being fooled. Folly. Right? It says, the days have already come when both have been forgotten. Like the fool, the wise too must die. So I hated life because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me, all of its meaningless. Chasing after the wind. So someone is now awakening or realizing that no matter what you do in life, it's like vapor, it's like smoke, it's like chasing after the wind. It's realizing that even some things that you think will bring you pleasure, you can't never grasp. You may never fully grasp. Because there's something where whether you're wise or you're asleep, you still have to take that walk. Nothing in life is forever. No one in life is forever. So when you know that nothing and no one is forever, it's like chasing after the wind. Because these memories, these moments, these things in our lives, they're just that for what time we're in. And at one point or another, this time won't exist. There'll be another time and another time. That's why they say sometimes you've lived multiple lifetimes. You've had multiple times. That's why they say life is like a video game. Because in a sense, you have multiple lives. If you fail, if you die on that level, you can start over. You can start over so that you can still try to win the game. That's the whole concept. You want to win the game. You want to beat. That's what you're trying to do when you're playing a video game, win that level. So you want to beat that level so you can go to the next one. And there's something around this time where, in a sense, what I was getting from this story is that this scripture, right? Ecclesiastes 2, is that there was a teacher speaking and basically giving the story through their lens of how no matter whether wise or foolish, both will still take the walk and have to die, right? Have to move on, have to start another life, right? It says, yet they will have control over all the fruit of my toil. into which I have poured my effort and skill under the sun. So eventually, there will be something or someone that will take over the control of your fruit, the control of what it is that you've built, the control of what it is that you've done. Because eventually, you live your life and you move on. You transition. Nothing is forever. So it says, this too is meaningless. So my heart began to despair over all my toil, some labor under the sun. So now someone is starting to feel despair when they think of everything they worked so hard for being in a sense meaningless, because they would never be there to tend to what they worked so hard for forever, because eventually you transition, you move on. Then it says, for a person may labor with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, and then they must leave all they own to another who has not toiled for it. So there's something around this time where maybe you felt like, or someone felt like, they had put in all the wisdom, they had put in all the knowledge, they had put in all the skill, they had put in all the hard labor, they had put in all the work, right? You or someone. And then it says to have done all of that and to have put in all that hard work, to know that you only indirectly leave something to another who has not put in the work that you put in, who has not done what you've done, who has not felt the burdens and the blood, sweat, and tears that you felt, but yet you leave this to another. You leave it to another. It says this too is meaningless and a great misfortune. What do people get for all the toil and anxious striving with which they've labored under the sun? So what do you receive for all your hard work? What do you get from all this hard work you put into striving? For all this hard work you put in for trying to be your best? What do you get? Is it a great misfortune? So then it says, all their days and work is grief and pain. Even at night, their minds do not rest. This too is meaningless. A person can do no better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. So basically, you can find nothing better in life than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in your own hard work, in your own labor. This too I see is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? So without God, how can you eat? Without God, how can you find enjoyment? Without the Most High, how can you find pleasure or satisfaction in things? He was basically saying, I've had all these things. And even having all these things, they turned out to be meaningless. They turned out to be something that was like smoke, could never grasp. It says, to the person who pleases him, the Most High, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. But to the sinner, he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth, to hand it over to the one that pleases God. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. So in a sense, even the sinners will have to return back and restore, right, what belongs to you. So even then, everything is meaningless. It can never be grasped. There's a change in the wind. because whatever belongs to you is meant for your grasp. It's for you. So if you keep your focus on the Most High, if you eat and drink and toil after your own labor and stay focused on the Most High, then you will find enjoyment in life. You will find someone that is eating. You will find someone that has knowledge, that has happiness, that is satisfied in life. That is how you know that God gives you wisdom. God gives you knowledge, and God also gives you happiness. And whatever was taken through sin, whatever someone did to try to take from you, and you know they say the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So someone may have tried to kill, steal, and destroy something that was for you, something that was meant for you, something that is yours, something that you may have toiled for, something that you may have worked for in life. So just know around this time that the Most High is saying that yes, your works under the sun would never go undone. Because like the teacher is saying, I see this is from the hand of God. Anything that is from the hands of the Most High, you will see. You will see that you will find someone that is enjoying their life. You will see that this is someone that has knowledge, that has wisdom, that has happiness. You will see the works of God. But anyone that tries to find joy and pleasure in other things will once realize that those things are meaningless. Why? Because it's something you can't grasp. It's a change in the wind. And there can always be a change because there will always be a time where you won't even be in this time that you are in now. You'll be in another time from today, from right now. You're already in another time, even if you go by the seconds, the minutes. You're never in the same time. So is it meaningless? No. Because if you can have happiness and be happy and enjoy your life and have that wisdom and have that knowledge and have those eyes in your head, right? You'll have a better life because you chose to follow the Most High. That is how you will have a better life. That is how your life will not be meaningless, right? That is how your life will be filled with satisfaction. That is how your life can be. So there's something around this time, guys, where I was being drawn to Ecclesiastes 2. Like I said, this is how I kind of interpreted it. You can read it for yourself and take from it what you get from it. But I feel like basically in a sense, and like I said, I'm new to these kind of things. I have not studied the word. I have not studied scripture like that. I haven't. So when I talk about things, it's just kind of like the way my mind kind of, and the way the Most High is giving it to me. And I feel like in a sense, the teacher is saying that yes, you can have all these pleasures. You can go towards all these things. You can have all these things. And you can think at that time that those things matter. But at that time, those things really could be meaningless, right? Because the only thing that has meaning in life or means anything is the Most High. And he says, I see the works of God basically when he has wisdom. When the teacher acts of wisdom and not folly, right? Folly is foolish mistakes. So when you stop acting in folly and you start acting with wisdom, with knowledge, with overstanding and understanding, with acceptance, with accepting, with moving on, right? With evolving. Wisdom is to evolve. Wisdom is to have knowledge. You had to study, you had to learn, you had to go through some things. That takes time. It takes time to learn all those things. So there's something around this time, guys, where something has taken time, right? But just because you will do the work to leave it to someone else. Just because you have done something to leave something else behind for someone, right? You can still enjoy that labor. You can still enjoy that hard work. You can still enjoy that time. You can enjoy it. You can enjoy it. But it comes with the Most High. Or at least that's the only way I have found for it to work for me. So, yeah. That's what I feel like Ecclesiastes 2 was talking about, in a sense. That, like, no matter what pleasures you have in life, or whatever you have at the time that you're in your life, right? Those things are meaningless if you don't have God. None of that matters. None of the bags or the purses or the clothes or the things or the houses or the cars or any of that stuff matters. Because yes, those are pleasures, but they're meaningless if you don't have the Most High. They're meaningless things that are like a change in the wind, vapor, smoke. Eventually it'll be gone, right? Because even the wise and the folly, the foolish, still have to take that same walk. They both have to transition. But you can choose to make it fun, enjoyable, or pain, right? Keep making the mistakes. That can be pain. Wising up can bring you happiness, because you're not making the same mistakes anymore. And that is God, right? That is the Most High. When you can learn from your mistakes and wisen up, you're showing the Most High that you're ready now. You've learned your lesson. You don't want to do that thing anymore. That's when the Most High can come in and work in your life and do amazing things. When you've learned your lesson and you don't want to do something anymore. Right? Blessings come, guys, when you least expect them. Right? I'm hearing blessing in disguise. So maybe there's something around this time where you took something and it was a blessing. And it's so crazy. I used to always say to myself sometimes, side note, but I used to always say, are my gifts a blessing or a curse? Right? I used to question. I used to say, Most High, like, sometimes this feels like it's more of a curse than a blessing. It feels like sometimes knowing things or being intuitive or picking up on energies or speaking the truth, right? Just being honest. Sometimes for me, it felt like it was a curse. Like, there might have been plenty of people that were like, I wish I could do this or have that, and then it's like you can do some of these things and it's like, is this a curse, right? That is how sometimes it may feel when you are trying to go towards wisdom, right? And get out of folly. Sometimes it can feel like a curse, but it's really a blessing in disguise. Because when you release yourself of the foolish things, when you release yourself of the folly, when you release yourself of the meaningless, and you put in the Most High, you will have happiness again. Because you will learn from your mistakes. You are learning from your mistakes. And maybe there's something where there's a teacher energy. Now this could be that this is the messages that you receive from me. This could be that there's the messages that you listen to and you receive from others. But you are learning something. There's a teacher energy around this time, or you are teaching someone something. You are teaching someone. Or someone is teaching you. Now, this could be that you're getting messages. This could be anything. You could be listening to church. You could be listening to pastors. You could be getting. You could be listening to tarot. It's very therapeutic. There are things that you could be watching or listening to, or there's something that you're learning, or you're exploring, or you're teaching around this time, or someone's teaching you, or you're going to school, or there's something about learning. I'm being drawn to the show Miss Fritz, I think her name was. She passed. The voice of Miss Fritz, I think it was, or Magic School Bus. Thank you, Spirit. So I was being drawn to the Magic School Bus, right? And like, you remember back in the day when you watched that? It was the show, right? The cartoon of all cartoons. But they used to always go on these like cool trips and explorers, like they were exploring, and there was things that they were magical, and they were doing all kind of stuff, right? The Magic School Bus, and it was basically magic. So there's something around this time where maybe there's something that's like so cool, it's like different, it's like you can explore, it's like magic, right? And there's something where maybe someone like Miss Fitz, she was the teacher, she was taking them on all these explorations. They were exploring the unknowns. So maybe there's someone that has been teaching you to explore the unknowns, right? To see that it's not meaningless. Excuse me. It's not meaningless when you are living your life for the Most High. It's not meaningless pleasures, because you will find pleasure in the Most High, and the Most High will give you your heart's desires if it's of righteous intent. And the Most High knows what you want. The Most High knows your heart. So there's something around this time, guys, of realizing that you can make mistakes. You can find pleasure in other things. You can go off of the eyes and what the eyes desire and what you see fleshly wise. Or you can follow the heart, because the Most High knows your heart, and the Most High will give you your heart's desires if it's of righteous intent, and if you are living your life for the Most High. So there's something around this time where someone is living now with wisdom, despite having to take the same walk, whether having wisdom or folly, and knowing that both will die, still having the choice to live with wisdom instead of folly. Someone is making a choice around this time. Someone is ready to live their life with wisdom. So Ecclesiastes 2 may be for someone. That is what I was getting from the scripture. That's how I took it in, right? But like I said, I don't have to be right. I'm not here to debate anybody when it comes to the Bible. You got it, okay? You got it. I'm not here to defend. I'm here to defend. I'm not here to debate. Thank you, Spirit. I am always here to defend when it comes from the Most High. But I am not here to debate anyone. This is a safe space. So like I always say, this is how I interpreted the scripture. I always suggest you read it for yourself, just so that you can get your own understanding of what it may mean to you. But for me, I feel like the scripture is talking about a teacher, and this is someone giving out what they have observed from life, and that you can put in all this hard work, you can do all these things, and yet you still have to leave it behind for someone else that may live life with folly or wisdom. But yet you still have to leave it after you have built it up, or whatever you've created, you won't always have for forever. But you can live your life in wisdom. which is a good thing. Okay, that is what I'm getting. So yeah, guys, as always, this is a prophetic message, and it's what the Most High was really placing on me for someone. And yeah, I just pray that this message touches and agrees with whoever it's for, and that you know that when you find happiness and joy and peace in your life, and you find something that your heart desires, um, you will know, right? Because the Most High will give you something that your heart desires. And I really feel like this could even involve love. There could be something here where there's something involving love, or something that someone's going to love, or someone that you're going to love, because it's what your heart desires. And the Most High knows your heart. The Most High knows everything. Okay? You can't keep nothing. Nothing from God. Okay? So, yeah. Knows all, sees all. That's why they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Right? What you think you got eyes on your body for? Those are the recorders. Everything is being recorded at all times. Right? Everything is being recorded. Wow, it's so crazy. Thank you, Spirit. But I'm being drawn to Men in Black, right? No, not Men in Black. Oh, I don't know why I said that movie. So maybe there's something about Men in Black. But dang. When it was Wild Wild West. Thank you, Spirit. Wild Wild West. Remember the Wild Wild West with Will Smith? The Wild Wild West? That was a good movie. I can't even lie. But yeah, so I was being drawn to, I think in the movie, right? They were doing this experiment on somebody's brain. And in the brain, they were basically recollecting scenes, right? From this person's life through the brain. So there was something where the brain was, in a sense, or the eyes. I don't know if it was they had like something going to where they were going back to what had took place. So it was like, I think, and the eyes or something were what they were using to tell the story. Because they say, in a sense, life is like a story. It's like your story. And that when you pass on, you go over your life again, right? You have to see your life again, in a sense, or it's like someone's looking over the life, right? Do you want to live your life with wisdom, or do you want to live your life with folly? And it's so crazy because in that movie, they were basically getting scenes from the brain. So always know that the eyes are the windows to the soul. The eyes are the recorders. The eyes are what records and downloads, right? Whether you have whatever it is, eyes or your sense, or if you have your eyes or not, there's still eyes. There's still always something being recorded. The Most High knows all, knows everything, already knows it before you get there in that time. So there's something around this time, guys, where just know you're always being, in a sense, watched, looked over, covered, protected. Whether this is through your guides or through the Most High covering you, always. Nothing goes unnoticed. Now, it's not to live your life in fear, but it's to know that means that at all times you're being watched. You're being watched. And it's real. The Most High is real. So there's something around this time, guys, where that may be for someone. Yeah, that may be for someone. So thank you guys for watching another prophetic message with me, Miss T. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you all, to my new subscribers and everyone that's been rocking with me, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Like I said, I hope that this message touches and agree with you. I am, yeah. Aw, I'm being drawn to a butterfly coming out of the cocoon. So you are flying away now. It's time. You've gone through this metamorphosis. You've gone through this change. You've gone through this rehabilitation type of energy where you've been nestled, or you've been by yourself, or you've been in a place, right? You've been somewhere. Maybe where you have kind of, in a sense, had to find yourself again, right? Restore yourself again. Become who you are again. And maybe you went through this cocooning phase and now you are flying away. You are coming out. It is time. You know how sometimes they take off the training wheels on your bike? Thank you, Spirit. I was being drawn to that for someone. So it's in a sense of like you can be carried with these training wheels for so long, but eventually you take the training wheels off because the child no longer needs it. And now it's time for this child to ride the bike. It's time for the child to ride the bike now, to take these training wheels off and just go. So you can't be carried for forever. Eventually you are free to ride your bike. After having support for so long, you are free. So you are now about to be free and able to ride your bike and go. And you don't need the safety anymore. You always need the Most High, but you don't need the training wheels. You can take them off now. It's time to ride the bike. It's time. So that's what I'm getting, guys. Until next time, what we tell them. What we tell them. What we tell them, guys. We tell them namaste.